simple. We kill the bat.
It's a long story. Welcome back, my royal disciples, to another dubbed anime review, and I'm here with Canaanite and Simply Stimpy yet again, and this time we'll be reviewing Rosario plus Vampire. Alright, and our first category is going to be the soundtrack. I personally really enjoyed the soundtrack for this. It wasn't really like a serious anime, it was really a goofy, hilarious anime, and the intros fit that for the second season. The first season I felt like they tried to come off a little more serious with the intro. It wasn't more goofy and all over the place.
It didn't really fit the first one.
Yeah, it didn't really fit at all. The first intro was cool, it just doesn't fit the anime itself. I still enjoyed the soundtrack overall, and the background music when stuff's going on and when they're talking is pretty entertaining too. And the outros are actually really good for this anime too. But for me, the soundtrack would probably for this would be the least on the list of categories for me for this anime. Because it's nothing that really sticks out compared to everything else. Because there's so many characters and there's actually a really interesting story that the soundtrack is just beneath all that for me. I'm not saying it's a bad soundtrack, I'm just saying all the other categories kind of make that look like the worst.
You gotta admit though, the second theme is so much better.
Yeah, the second season theme is like one of the best themes ever. I fucking love that theme, it's hilarious. But anyway, what did you guys think about the soundtrack?
Yeah.
Deep emotion!
We had that played out for a while.
Yeah, I wasn't a huge fan of the soundtrack on this anime. I just thought it was kind of, for the most part, just kind of forgettable. You know, nothing really stood out for me about it. You know, the intros, they were pretty good, but you know, overall I think the music was just kind of there. You know, it didn't really stick in my mind after the anime was over. I wasn't thinking like, wow, the music was awesome.
I did like that each character kind of had their own little mini theme at times playing in the background when they had their serious moments or the times where they're actually having a part with them in it. Like, just mainly them. They had their own little theme playing in the background. I like that a lot. But other than that, nothing really, just kind of was always there. There was always something playing in the background while they were talking or anything, really.
Yeah. I gotta say, I liked the soundtrack for the most part, but I think he's kind of right. I didn't like really the music that was during the anime. The intros and outros I thought were great.
Yeah.
But I got kind of tired of hearing the same type of music over and over again for each part.
I just kind of stopped really noticing it after a while since it was the same. I kind of more like, I didn't notice it half the time unless you actually really look for it. But
yeah. But especially the one where they were having like their love scenes when they're going back and forth.
Oh, Mocha.
Yeah, oh, Skune.
Oh, Skune.
Mocha. Gino.
There you go. But yeah, so I thought it was pretty good, but not great.
Okay, I can understand that. But I will rate the soundtrack for me. I'll just give it a solid B, just because of all the laughs and fun times with the soundtrack I had. It was great. It was fun.
He's probably gonna give it an F because he hated it because of you.
The deep emotion, man.
I'm not quite an F, but you know, like I said, wasn't a huge fan of the soundtrack. Actually, I don't even think I have to get up for this.
First time for everything.
Overall, I'm thinking I'm gonna go with a C- for the soundtrack. You know, not worthy.
Striking a low blow.
I was gonna say that. I thought that was kind of
not worthy of an F or a D, but you know, just slightly below average for me.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna give it. I'll go in the middle. I'll go with a C+. Between the two of them, there you go.
I can understand. It's just like the soundtrack out of all these categories just seems like, I don't know, not up to par with the rest of the anime.
Yeah.
Yes, especially the in episodes, like not the openings or the outros, but the actual soundtrack in between wasn't really that into it.
Agreed.
But alright, and our next category is characters. For me, the characters are probably the best ranking I can give for this anime because there's so many likable characters. There's only one I really didn't like was Yukiri, the little witch
Yeah,
girl.
she was annoying.
She was
Yeah.
the only one. If she could have been better. I mean, she didn't have to be so obnoxious and all that. But
Again, Matt hates that voice. Just that voice actress, I think it is.
I don't think it's the same voice actress, but
But it's the same type of voice.
equally as annoying.
Yeah.
Equally as annoying.
But overall, besides her, I really liked all the characters. My favorite female character was Mizade. Before I watched Heaven's Lost Property, this was the first anime that I watched that actually got me into animes was Rosario Vampire. And Mizade was the one that stuck out to me the most. The most personality. She was shy and bashful and had her awesome moments. And she had like 3 episodes that were just dedicated to her. And I just really liked that overall, she was my favorite character. And my favorite male character was Geen, the werewolf. He was just overall hilarious. I just thought he was just like, he was the only actual dude in the anime.
Yeah.
And like, besides Skune. But overall, I think the characters are the best trait of this anime because there's so many different ones and they actually get into them a decent amount and they all have their own personality and part in the anime. What did you guys think about the characters?
Yeah, for me, overall, I really liked most of the characters. You know, there were a lot of them for this anime, and I think overall my favorites would probably have to be Mizure and her mother. I think for obvious reasons. You know, I mean, I think he.
Mizure's the best.
He knows what's up. But yeah, you know, all the characters overall were really interesting. You know, they all were very unique. You know, which is one of the things that I look for. It's one of the reasons why Angel Beats was my favorite anime, is because there were a lot of characters in that, and they were all very unique. You know.
Yeah, like the only flaw with Angel Beats is, unlike this anime, it didn't have enough episodes to get into the characters.
Yeah.
This one had 2 seasons, enough to spread it out so you can actually know more about the characters.
Yeah, true.
But Simply Snippy.
For me, my favorite was Kurumu. I'm different from both of them. I thought she was great. She had the power to completely control Skune. But she even says, she's like, I feel like I don't have to. I want to do it the right way, the old-fashioned way.
The only reason I think she does that though is because she gets her ass kicked and then she gets thrown down. It's
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
if you do
It's
that,
like-
I'm going to rip off your wings and then,
Well, not even just, she's not doing that out of fear. I think she finally figures out that's probably the better way to do it, because it's just, she even says it wouldn't feel right
I still just
having the person like that.
Nah.
So it's like she could just take him by force if she really wanted to.
Yeah, I mean,
But-
she's a succubus. That's
Yeah,
what they do.
That's what I mean. But at the same time, she's like, I feel like I don't have to. So I like that. That's what I like about her.
Alright, well, my rating towards the characters, I'm going to give it the highest I can get because it was my favorite aspect. I will give it an A+ for the characters just because it had many different aspects, many different characters, and they were all different monsters too, which made it even more interesting.
Which is really cool.
So it was just an awesome characters all around. What did you guys think? Final ratings towards the characters.
I think for me, overall for the characters, you know, like I said, they were really good, really well developed, and there were a lot of them, and they were all unique. You know, they didn't blend in with each other too much, which was really nice to see. So I think overall for me, I'm gonna give the characters B+ for me.
I like his rating. I'm probably going to end up going with the same thing. I loved all the characters and how far they got in depth with it. So B+.
And the fact that they actually included their parents in an anime, like,
Yeah, that was really cool.
And
Yeah,
like-
that's true. I didn't even think of
That was
all animes
probably
with
the first
kids, they
anime
like,
to do that.
oh, my parents died. Oh, they're on a lifelong journey to find their.
They went grocery shopping.
8 years ago, they went grocery shopping.
Stepped out for a pack of gum.
And they never came back.
Yeah.
Bought some lottery tickets, you know.
But I overall just loved the characters. They were just my favorite, and that's pretty much what made everything in this anime was the characters.
Yeah.
So. Alright, and our next category is story. And the story pretty much is this high school kid, Skune, flunks his entrance exams, and his dad finds random paper on the ground, gives him a mission to a school called Yokai Academy, and it's a school filled with monsters, and he takes this bus there with the crazy awesome bus driver that talks to him all the time. He's like, "Yo, kid, you better watch your back here." He was so funny. The bus driver was awesome. Was an awesome side character they had in there. It was a little weird, but he was hilarious. and he goes to the school filled with monsters and all these different characters: Mocha, Mizade, Kumaru, Yukiri, Ruby, Gin. So many characters. They're all different monsters. I don't know how to pronounce her name. The succubus chick.
You gonna learn, man. You gonna learn.
But the story is pretty much that, and how they develop a relationship with all each other, and how he survives in the school filled with monsters, and how he blends in. And the first season is pretty much him and Mocha. Mocha's the only person that knows he's a human until the second season. Spoiler alert, but it's pretty much that. I mean, there's not really much of a story besides their characters and who they are. And it's just a school monsters full of school.
A lot of
school
fillers.
filled with monsters, pretty much.
A lot of filler episodes too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually thought that overall the story was kind of a little.
It was like a high school
I don't
theme. It wasn't much of like a adventure story.
But it wasn't done in the way that like it was amazing, like Angel Beats did with High School.
Yeah, I don't know if weak is too strong of a word, but like it just was kind of underwhelming for me. There wasn't really much to the story.
Yeah, I don't know what like.
It was just occasionally some guy would just either be like, he's a human. Or
Yeah, like there wouldn't be a story until the last 3 episodes of a season. You would just feel like you'd just be watching these characters and their daily activities.
Yeah, they're just hanging out.
Yeah.
It was pretty much like one of those things where it's like, all right, here's this group of characters, and then let's see what happens.
Yeah.
You know, we're gonna put them together in this environment. Let's see.
And it just so happens that the badass version of Mocha is gonna come out in every single
episode. She gets. I love that side episode where he's just like, all right, I got this. Knocks
We're
over.
missing something.
Yeah,
here.
we're missing something. He knocks him over. He knocks the rosary off, and now comes.
I hated that bat.
Oh yeah.
I despised that
forgot to
one
mention him in
bat.
the characters.
I don't even care. I will say it now. I despised that bat.
Nobody likes the bat.
The little commentator thing. Yeah, like he said, just kill the bat.
We gotta do it.
I completely agree with
We need to
this.
start a petition to go back and re-edit that anime and just kill that damn bat.
Someone rip the wings off and then just curb stomp it.
There you go.
The bat was really annoying and a little unnecessary. I thought they threw him in there to make it a little more funny. I guess I don't know. It's like hamster.
Just like 6-year-olds that probably shouldn't even be watching this.
Just go back. Just animate one of the writers. Just put him in there. Just have him come out of nowhere. Just grab the bat. Just bite its head off, and then just look at
Ozzy Osbourne, man.
Just look at the camera and just be like, "I'm sorry," and then walk off. Never see him again. That's all you need.
The bottom line for the story is just a school full of monsters, comedy, panty flash anime, lots of panty flash, but. There's no real like engaging story until like the last 3 episodes where like things take a dark turn where there's this asshole they need to bring down or something happens, something like that.
Yeah.
But overall, the story was entertaining to watch, even though there wasn't much to go on story-wise. It was just like a school filled with monsters and all these characters. But I will give the rating. I'll give it a B minus.
Yeah. For me, the thing about it is the interesting thing about this anime is that they're really the story and the characters pretty much go hand in hand. You know, there is no story without the characters. You know, whole story
For this one, anyway.
Yeah, the whole story relies heavily on who these people are and what they're doing in this environment. You know, and like I said, just overall for me, there wasn't really much of a story there. You know, it was just mostly character building and relationship building, which is okay, but I mean,
Too much of it without any story just kind of brings it down.
I just would have preferred that. I would have preferred it if all that character building and relationship building had been for a purpose, you know, rather than just to move things along. You know, there wasn't really any real meaning behind it other than just to, like I said, just to build those relationships.
Oh, there's a bunch of different viewpoints. It's hard to say.
I kind of have to agree with him though. Don't think that I didn't like this anime. I loved this anime.
Yeah, this anime was.
But I do
tons of
think
fun
the
to
story
watch.
could have used some work, and that's why it might sound like we hate it, but I did like it a lot.
No, it's totally enjoyable. It's just I don't know how to describe the story really that much.
Yeah, I think for me, just going by the story itself, or lack thereof, I would probably I'm gonna go and give it a C, just for the story. I would just say average. You know,
Like if there was no interesting characters, if there was only like 1 or 2 interesting characters, that just would you would I don't know what they do.
If there were no interesting characters, then it would not only bring down my character rating, but it would definitely bring down the story rating. Because if the characters aren't interesting, it's hard to make the story interesting and keep people interested in what's
But
happening.
that's for most animes. But with this one, it's more so just because the characters are like the main part of this anime.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
70% of this anime, I would say, is based on the characters.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
definitely.
See, for me, I feel the same as Canaanite here. So I'm probably, except I don't think it brought it down nearly as much, I guess. But I'll go ahead. I'll give it a C plus. Be kind of in the middle of those two, just because I thought it didn't bring it down that much to bring it to like a C or C minus, but still really good.
Gotcha. I have no argument. Seems fair to me. I'm very generous with my ratings because I'm a big anime fan and I enjoy watching it. I kind of just take it for what it is. But there's little nicks, a little this, a little that,
Yeah.
improvements. But
Yeah.
what are you gonna do? All right, and now we come to our ending and final rating category. Now, for me, it's kind of half and half with this ending. It felt like I said, it leaves me wanting more, but it felt like it wasn't too bad. Not as bad as Spice and Wolf's, in my opinion. Like, he thought it was perfect.
I just want to throw this marker at you now.
Well, it definitely wasn't perfect, but
I just felt like it was really cool where they went to how everything kind of came together at the end. Even though they really could have done another season, their final season, I felt the third season would have been, if they had it, it needed it, kind of.
It definitely did need a third season. I'll agree with that.
To complete it, I felt like it would have been more fulfilling if they had a third season. They could have made a third season.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like they would have had their final year. And it would have been awesome to see, like, him try and take one of them to the prom or something like that, and then have Mocha's dad be like, "You're taking my daughter to the prom."
Or just all of them just be like, no, you're taking all of us to the prom. That type of thing.
Yeah, that's
But
Because you know that's something that would happen. I mean, come on.
But the ending of season 2 was hilarious, I thought. How when they storm the castle and it's like, oh yeah, anytime this castle gets infiltrated, we
just destroy
we
it.
destroy it. $2 million
Just
down the drain.
See you later, guys.
I thought that was the most hilarious thing ever. When they're like, yeah, we should get out of here because it's gonna blow up. But for me, I thought it was an overall hilarious ending. It was epic and hilarious at the same time. How he got the vampire powers and just tried to take cannibal pass out on Mocha's dad. I thought that was really epic. But other than that, I don't know. It felt me leaving a lot. I wanted to see more. I really wanted a third season, and it left me hanging at the end, like a lot of animes do. But I still don't think it was an overall bad ending. I just kind of felt like they planned on the third season, and then it just never happened.
Yeah.
type deal.
Yeah, that's definitely what it felt like. I mean, for me, like, I just felt like the ending was just kind of there. It wasn't really crazy. It was just, all right, well, this is the ending.
And I felt like after the fight with Mocha's dad, they were like, just in case we can't make another season, let's have this little happy finale type deal.
You definitely got the impression watching it that they were probably hoping for a third season, if not planning for one.
But
I like how Skune had to explain how he didn't want to pick any single one of them. So pretty much he's saying, yeah, we don't know who I'm picking right now.
Yeah, that too. I mean, it's obvious for him it's going to be Mocha, and everybody knows for him it's going to be Mocha.
It most
for
likely
him,
is.
like anyone would say that. Like it's Mocha. Oh, Skune. Like,
I know, I hated
that whole anime. They were
I think
like,
they should have more so teased everybody rather than center it on one person.
yeah, they centered it mostly on Mocha.
I would have been okay with this ending had they just, been equal with everybody. But no, they tended to center it with
I liked it when Mocha was like, "You're just trying to string us all along,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
son of a bitch. And learn your place," and just fucking kicks him to the curb. I thought that was fitting. He kind of deserved that for a bit, like kind of slapping the face of the people who made it. Ringtone. Okay, I don't know who's texting me right now, but anyway,
It was me.
my rating that brings it all together. I'll give it a solid. I'll give it a B plus. It could have been my favorite anime because it was the anime that brought me into anime itself. Besides like Dragon Ball Z and Pokemon, because I don't really even count them. But this is the anime that actually started me watching animes in general. And if it had that third season, it probably would have been my favorite anime because it had Mizade. She was almost my favorite anime character overall. And if they had that third season, it might have been an A+ for me if they had that third season. But that's what I thought of everything overall. What about you guys?
Yeah, like I said, I wasn't a huge fan of the ending, you know, but it didn't really bring down the anime overall for me. You know, like he said, it's an entertaining anime. You know, if you're looking for a crazy, dramatic, you know,
hilarious
box of tissues kind of thing, you're not gonna get that with this.
No.
You know, if you're looking for something fun, you know, to watch and have some laughs at.
It's hilarious.
Yeah, and also have some, you know, dramatic moments here and there too.
Every once in a while.
Well, then this is a good anime for you. But for me, you know, overall, like I said, it was good. The characters were the most important aspect of this, and even though there wasn't much of a story overall, the characters were able to keep it, you know,
keep you wanting more.
Yeah, keep it going for the whole thing. I think for me, overall, for my final rating, I got a demon in here. I think overall for my final rating, I think in the interest of fairness, I'm gonna go for a C+ for my final rating.
All right.
Just above average for me.
For me, because I did love this anime. The ending did set it down a bit. That's why it's hard for me to give an ending and a final rating at the same time for this one, because I hated the ending, but I loved the anime at the same time.
That's why that brings it all together.
Yeah, that's why I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna agree with Canaanites here, and I'm gonna go with a C+.
I don't necessarily disagree. I mean, that's all right.
We don't hate it.
I mean, yeah, we don't hate it by any means. I loved this anime. I thought it was great. It's just that the ending brought it down a bit.
It was lacking in a lot
and
of
the fact
aspects.
that they didn't have a third season.
Yeah.
And they should have, honestly.
Yeah.
I feel like it would have done well here. Maybe not so much in Japan, but here.
Yeah, it's just like for me, it was good, but I think it could have been a lot better if it had more of a story to it.
Yeah.
Because they had the characters going for them, but it just needed that really good, interesting story to keep it.
But it was an original idea to change it from just a normal high school full of monsters.
Definitely.
A high school
That
full
was
of monsters.
awesome.
Yeah, that was
I thought that was
a cool
great.
idea.
The use of like the Cyclops, Frankenstein, Succubus.
Yeah, the
You know,
werewolves.
stuff like werewolves.
Yeah, I thought it was original, had great characters, the soundtrack was a little above average, the story was lacking in some parts, but I can't really complain because it's a comedy anime. I don't know how much story you can make from a comedy overall. That's just, but if it had that third season, definitely would have.
It probably would have been at least a B+ for me.
Yeah,
had I had a third season to watch. But
that's the only thing I could really complain about it, but it was still an extremely enjoyable anime to watch.
yeah, one thing I find funny is that everybody keeps asking Funimation for a third season, and they released this one thing I read online. They were just like, look, we can't do anything about it. It's not us that make it. We just put out the English version. So stop asking. It's like everybody wants it.
What do you want us to do?
Yeah, everybody wants it here, but there's nothing Funimation can do about it. It was actually kind of funny to read that.
Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this dubbed anime review of Rosario Vampire. And I'll leave links in the description to Canaanite and Simply Stimpy's YouTube channels. Check them out, they're awesome. And I will see you guys at my next dubbed anime review.
Mocha.